1984 to 1991, I called this little German town my home. And ever since I left, I've been wanting to go back. And after 35 years, I was finally able to make it. We spent 2.5 days retracing the steps of my childhood. If you grew up as a military brat, you know exactly what this is like. Welcome to Würzburg, Germany. I got way more emotional on this trip than I expected. Not just because so many things had changed, but because so many things were exactly as I remember them. It felt good to come back home. Hallo, ciao, guten Tag from Germany. We are here in a very, very special trip. Currently we are in Würzburg. It's a town, at least when I tell people that I used to live in Germany and I say I'm from here, they have no idea where it's at. But it's a beautiful little German town, and we are here retracing the steps of my childhood. So this is the beginning of the barracks when you would come in, or the Leighton base. And this is the arch. It's crazy that they kept this. I'm so glad, because as we were coming in on the bus, everything started to look super familiar to me. And I don't know if my mind's playing tricks on me, where it's like, oh, you think you remember, but you don't. But things started to get familiar, and then all of a sudden I saw this arch, and I was like, no, I know we're here. And I want to go check, because there used to be a church right outside of this gate. I think I went to it 1 or 2 times with my mom. And then where my dad bought our first van in the 80s, there's I thought it was right off the base, and he can tell me whether this is correct or not. This car dealership, that's crazy. How is this still here? Now, I could be wrong. I will ask my father if this is the place, because we are right off the barracks. So I'll have to confirm with my father. But I feel like it is, because it's this tiny little place. This was a parking lot. All this was a parking. I remember, again, they have videos online, but there was just a main street that just came down, and this is still that same street. And then there was parking here, and then across the street in this field where some of these things are, there was a commissary, which is where you buy your groceries. This is the old theater. I want to go in if we can. It's very strange because things look so different, but at the same time, the structure of a lot of things look very similar. So the crazy thing about this building is this building's been around since the 30s, I think, and it was an old airplane hangar, and then they converted it into a theater and a PX and a bank for the military. But the structure is still the same, yeah, because you can see, obviously, it looks like a hangar, but yeah, there's a gym, yeah, but it's just kind of cool being in here because the structure is still the same, because it has a lot of history here, and this is cool to come back here, so. All right, it smells good. Yeah, I remember being literally right before you got onto the base, and it looks like, obviously, it's been torn down, which is a little bit sad, but I want to walk a little bit further, but I think this is where the church was at. That's really cool that they did preserve this chapel, and it is where we were just at, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, it has to be, because it definitely wasn't beyond that arch, but I'm happy because now you get to see it, but they did show this is where that chapel was, so it's kind of cool. They don't have it in English. Yep, I remember this tank here. So, yeah, this is a great picture. This is what this used to be, this area. I remember this tank. That's cool. I'm glad that they took pictures. So, Leighton Chapel, that's what it was called. Okay, that makes sense. So, but I do remember they had the mascot. My dad was in the 3rd Infantry Division, 3rd ID, and the mascot was a bulldog, and I think his name was Rocky. I could be wrong. So I wonder if they either have him, which I doubt it. I think that they probably took that stuff back to any of the U.S. facilities, but we'll see if we can find anything. Okay, so here's something from when I was here. So 29 June 1990. So I was here in 29 June 1990. I don't know what this is. Friendship tree presented to the United States Army. The United States Army by the District of Lower Franconia. Look how big it is since 1990. Here, you can still see the remains of a track. Like I said, I remember when I was little, we would come here for school and we would run around and like do the mile or 2 miles or whatever we had to do for fitness, and you can still see the rounded areas where it was a track. But what I really remember the most is one, riding my bike here, learning how to ride a bike here, which this actually looks pretty much the same, but I like that you can see the impression of where the track used to be. It used to kind of go down, and wow, that's, after all these years, it's not, so much has changed, but there's some stuff that's still the same. Yeah, because that's where I grew up, is Skyline, which is where we're headed now. And really, the neighborhood is there. I'd actually like to just keep going there. The barracks at Hubland were named after Leighton. His family only learned of the honor by chance 6 decades later. Are you serious? Golly, 60 years. How in the world did they not know that? That's a huge, this is where I grew up. Like, this is such a huge part of my memory, Leighton Barracks, named after this guy who died in the war, and his family didn't even know?
Wow. I love it, yes.
Because this is where we're at right now.
Immagino che noi siamo qui. No.
Yeah. So I think the school's over here, so I want to go there because I think that's where I lived. And walking down these streets, and I feel like I remember we used to get picked up to go to church, and I swear it was on this road, on this, like, here. Oh, this is so strange for me. Seeing these buildings. I know where I'm at now. This is so cool. This was my old school. I'm getting a little emotional. This is weird. Yeah, like I actually know where I'm at. Like after over 30 years, I'm walking the street and I'm like, oh, I know where I'm at. Like because I've walked and rode my bike on this street for years, literally. Yeah, this is where I went to elementary school. Dang. Like I'm actually getting emotional. Like even seeing these doors, like you said this is not abandoned, but this one looks abandoned. But like I remember these doors. I remember this mail, and we had these buzzers. I remember these storm drains. Like, God, like it's hard because I'm like being flooded with all these like emotions and weird memories. We were L7, by the way. That was this is not our building, but we were L7. I can't remember the building number, which I think our building doesn't exist anymore. I'm amazed at how some of this stuff is so similar. Like we're not similar, it's exactly the same. Because this is the basement and this is where you store, just like, where we live. Yeah. You have the basement and you store stuff, but they were pretty big. And there was this one guy, his name was Cardell. It'd be funny if he could ever see this. His name was Cardell, and he lived like in a room downstairs, yeah, in one of these. And to me, he was the coolest guy in the world, I was like 8, 9 years old, and I think he was 17, 18, I don't know, maybe even 16. But he was one of the coolest, to me, guys in the world, and he lived in one of these basements. But where everything else, like we stored our bikes and, just our junk, and he actually lived down there. And some of this stuff, I'm having memories I haven't had in years. Like with these grates, and oh my God, it's hard to not keep talking because it's making me think about stuff I just never thought about. And we're getting close to where I lived. Oh yeah, these are all gone. So actually I want to go to the school really quick. But my house was here, I think, where this building was at. on my first day in first grade, and we lined up right here to go into school. I have memories of like getting in line, first day of school, being super nervous and lining up, and it's so much the same. It's very, very similar to what it used to be. Like this, they haven't changed. I remember this, the walls were like this, they were like rocky like this and everything.
This is actually your school.
This was where I went to elementary school, yeah.
Didn't change.
It has not changed. So they're not tearing them all down, they're redoing them, which is kind of cool.
And putting also elevator.
Yeah, that's something I saw too, they're doing elevators because we didn't have one. So you have all these ones that haven't been torn down, but this one, this is where I lived. Oh my gosh. That is so crazy. Because all this was field, and of course you had this building, and then, so I'm pretty sure that the lady that babysat us was here now, because this is right here where we used to live. Wow. Yeah, I think it's this one. I can't imagine it's not, but I don't know if this is the same tree, but there was an old chestnut tree right, you know, because this for sure, 100% is where we used to live. And there was an old chestnut tree, but I don't know if this is the same one. I imagine it is, but again, that was 30 years ago. I feel like the tree should be bigger. So I don't know if they got rid of that tree and then planted another one, or if that tree just doesn't grow. And I don't even know if this is a chestnut tree. Do you know?
Chestnut?
Chestnut, castagne.
Chestnut, this.
Yes, this one. I'm sad because like you have all these old buildings and then like the one that I grew up in is gone, you know? Like these people are looking at us like we're crazy. But it's really cool. But yeah, I remember these trees, and there was another tree here. There used to be a tree here, because I remember when we would go to school, there was this one here, and I remember, I have funny memories. I'm not gonna say all of them. I could talk forever about all these different things. And we used to, when the chestnuts got big, we would like throw sticks up into the tree to try and get the chestnuts to fall down. And we would always have these really sticks that we fell in love with, and we'd throw them in the tree, and sometimes they'd get stuck in the branches, and we'd be like, ah. It doesn't seem old enough either, but I don't know.
Can be.
But to me, the fact that it's in that exact spot, it feels too exact to not be that tree. And my friend Dwight lived down there, so I want to walk eventually. I want to walk down there because, and I don't know how far it is, so maybe actually I'll look on the map before. But remember how I was saying when we would if you walk all the way down to the end of the street, it like ends and then you can see the castle. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how far that actually is. This used to be the street, so like right here, and then this used to be a street that went all the way down. You used to be able to drive, you know, there to here. So we would be in the middle of the street, and the DYA was right here. Oh my God, no way. Yeah. Yeah, this is totally different. So this was our building, and then we had the parking lot here, and then right across there was a field in the middle, and then there were basically more houses that looked just like the other ones, the older ones. So there was one that was like right in front of this one, but there was a field in the middle, and the YA, or the DYA, the Youth Activity Center, was just right across the street. Yeah, and all this used to be street that that's so weird. Because all of the other parts look exactly the same, like from where my school was and then the buildings right in front of it, that's exactly as I remember. And this is, because here, our building was here, and then where all these buildings were just field. It was all just where you could play. They had like swings and a baseball field and whatever, and now it's all building. I understand now when you look at interviews of people who are elderly and they just want to talk about all this stuff. I'm there now, you know, I have all these memories 30 years ago of a life that doesn't, you know, something that just doesn't exist anymore. And I can imagine being 80, 90 years old and thinking about a world that that lived in that doesn't exist anymore. But seeing little hints of it, like those other buildings, you know, in my school, that hasn't changed, and but then all of this is completely changed. It's such a strange, a feeling. Although these buildings are cool, they're modern, they're very neat looking buildings. All right, so this is with my back to where we grew up, and then this is where my old apartment building used to be. All right.
Very modern building.
Yeah. My first kiss was right there. I had a crush on this little girl named Lisa Schneider. We were running around just playing tag or whatever, and on the side of the building, I remember telling her that I liked her or something like that. And I remember right there on the side of the building, right where this thing is, that's how you get downstairs into the basement. I had my back against the wall, and she just came up and kissed me on the cheek. Yeah, she kissed me on the cheek, and I remember I felt so good. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm having all these memories, like, because walking on this road and just seeing this side of the building and being on this side. I remember she kissed me just like, again, but it was on our building. She kissed me right there, right next to the stairwell. I haven't thought about that in God knows how long. How many memories. This is the old high school, and we played basketball games and stuff there. But I really like that they kept these, because they didn't have to. You know, it's part of the university now, but I really appreciate that they've kept a lot of the history of this, so that people like me can come back however many years later and reminisce. It's funny because it says Würzburg Elementary School, but that one says Würzburg American High School. In this specific road, my best friend Dwight lived down this way. Yeah. Definitely got a little more emotional. And even now when we're leaving, I feel like I've been wanting to come back here for 30 years, over 30 years, and finally made it back, got to see all this stuff. And this will probably be the last time I'm back. Maybe not, but I don't really have a reason to come back here other than it's quite beautiful. You know, it's very nice here, but my ties here were this. And I guess the only other reason why I would want to come back is to see it with my brother. You know, come back here with him and reminisce like we're doing now, but hear his side of the story, what he remembers. It's like saying goodbye to something that it feels like closing a chapter. I feel like happy, of course. I got to come back here and visit, but at the same time, it's like something that's in the back of your mind that you're finally closing, and then you kind of move on. It's like basically closure. I definitely know there's a group of people who are interested, because when I looked at these old videos of this old German guy who kind of like, again, made a little documentary of everything before it all got torn down. There was so many comments in the comment section that were like, thank you, and I was one of them. You know, it's like, thank you for doing this, for preserving this, so that we can go back and remember, because a lot of the stuff doesn't exist anymore. And just, yeah, I know there's a lot of people, and they were all in different, people were like, oh, I remember being there in the 70s, and people, of course, were there when we were there, and there's people that were there in the 90s, and other people who were like the last graduating class before they closed everything. And oh, that's great. Yeah, that's a great view. That's what I remember as a kid. That's wild. But yeah, this field here is where we used to shoot off fireworks, but of course it's not a field.
Station in there.
I remember the radio station.
Yeah,
yes.
the Morse station where you could have phone calls to the States, whatever, you know. I mean, thanks.
It's cool to talk to someone who knows this.
Funny, we talk to each other, you know, and I see you as a son of the city, and I mean, amazing.
That makes me feel good, yeah.
Yeah, oh, you are a son of the city. I mean, you spent a lot of your youth on
7 years,
which is amazing.
The only restaurant I remember eating at as a kid, other than fast food places, is the Kirschbaum. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's what was it, like 20 minutes outside of the city by bus? And it was my favorite place. It was such a treat whenever we would go here. I loved eating here. I have memories of my dad even teaching me how to like cut food, you know, with a fork and knife, and they would give us cherries and all that stuff. I don't know. I really hope they're open. For whatever reason, they don't look like they're open. They said they're supposed to be open at 4:30. So we'll see, but let's go check it out.
Das sind jetzt Mann und Frau.
Can we eat for two here?
Yes, you didn't reserve?
No.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, there's space.
Come in.
Okay. Any table or?
No.
Okay.
Some tables are already reserved.
Okay.
I would think, I guess, this
Here?
table 100%.
Okay, thank you.
If it's fine for you.
Yes, absolutely. Back at the Kirschbaum.
So, have a good time. Nice to see you.
See, I'll be the same.
Dankeschön. Tschüss. This is Asabier. Yes, thank you. It's the best souvenir from Germany.
Absolutely, I agree.
Thank you.
Is this the, I took a picture to translate. Is this the history?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Tschüss.
All right, I feel like my mission here in Germany is complete, or at least the part that I've been wanting to fulfill for more than 30 years. We are here at the Kirschbaum, and my favorite place to come. I'm so happy, and the lady, our waitress, which I asked if she has been here for a long time. She doesn't speak great English, but she said that she's been here for forever, so she said possibly we have maybe even met when I was a kid. Who knows? And it was always a treat to come back here with my family, and there were even some things in there I remember, even though they remodeled. There's like a statue of like Mary in the very back, and like the way their chairs were, that I felt like I recognized. So I feel good, and this is only the beginning of our trip. We still need to go to tomorrow. We're gonna just explore Würzburg some. After that, we're gonna go visit my teacher, and then we'll go see your cousin. So
And aunt.
and your aunt. If you or your family were fortunate enough to be stationed at Leighton Barracks, you know how special this place was. If you're one of those people, please leave a comment and share a story from your time there. Another wonderful thing about this base is that there was a great relationship between the Germans and Americans during this time. If you're a German that had any experience with the soldiers or their families, I also invite you to share your experience here. And one final word to Mike Sr., Linda, Lisa, Michael, and Joseph. Some of my best childhood memories are with your family. If you happen to see this, please reach out. I'd love to reconnect. See you in the next one. Ciao.